This is G2. Down and out a map right off the bat. Perhaps they'd expect it. Perhaps they'd expect to be giving up Vertigo in this series, but the reality is they couldn't have expected the fashion it happened in. 15-7 the scoreline. At one point, they managed a bit of a comeback to get us on towards 11 rounds to wake up a wee bit, but it's still not an appetizing prospect for them, and they cannot afford another slow start. Nafani wants to fight in towards spawn. It's not going to happen. He won't connect any shots on towards head. Takes a tiny bit of damage back himself, but that doesn't really matter. They got control in the pit. They're continuing to duel here. Hunter will take some damage as he works his way in towards the tunnels. Not a funny close-up by the door. Shiro for him to play off of. This is not an appetizing prospect. Smoke going to be wedged into the hinges there to imply a little bit of catwalk presence, but it's long where the hit is going to come. Hobbit connects some shots, and then they back out. Do they realize that Axile's here in the pit? Aminek's jumping for it, but I don't know that he's spotted just yet. Still Hobbit to play off of. They might be able to set up a bit of a crossfire. Hobbit goes looking. Hobbit finds. Nico down. Another as well. Hobbit will lose his life, but he's done enough damage. If Axile can find even one here, he sets his teams up very nicely. And he's going to start going looking for it. They have no idea he's here. Now he's got two players. Now he's got two players dead. A third as well. Axile makes it look pretty with the USP. Cleaning them all up and taking the 1-0 for Gambit. So, we said it was going to be rough if G2 started out slow. Obviously, that's just the pistol. There's a lot more to work on. But let's see what they can do. We should have an investment coming through here from Gambit. Oh, I'm not quite sure what's happened here. Don't know if you can still hear me. Ah, there we go. Now we're into the round. We do have the buy coming out. We were phasing through time there just for a moment, folks. Never you mind. Couple SMGs, couple rifles, and the scout for Shiro, which we know could be ferocious. Meanwhile, on the other side, G2 are going to lick their wounds and just go for the eco. It's Glocks. Not even a smoke to try and get towards sight. Just Glocks. So I better hope they don't find the SMGs, or rather die to the barrel of a FAMAS and avoid giving up that much money. Coming out towards long, might try and overwhelm. It would be Shiro. Shiro is the player who they can perhaps most effectively overwhelm. But he should be able to get away. Going back and forth to check either direction. And if he comes back towards long, now he's going to see them. There's going to be the spot. Shiro gets one, but I don't think he's long for this world. Never mind. Shiro makes more. Something out of nothing for sure. His scout might be retrievable. And, oh, he's come back to life. What's going on here? We've hit the rewind. We've hit the rewind. That's, back and forth. I would assume at this point the round is over, but here we go. Axile and Hobbit do confirm it, and we're on to round 3. Don't know what happened there. This is the replay. Okay. There we see it play through. Now we're back into the third. Hopefully no more phasing through time. I can't deal with this time travel. Feels like it's Donnie Darko out here. Let's see. A little bit of deep control out towards long. No one's coming out of the long house just yet. G2 are giving it its space. There's no presence towards catwalk and really not much towards mid either, as 3 players are tucked in towards the B site, perhaps expecting a faster play. They might need to rotate back through, especially as now some presence is being shown in towards mid. The molly down, the gunshots as well. Shiro's going to come back to focus in on it. And they could have inters as well, route in from the site. Shiro wants to take up the angle out towards catwalk. He will drop a Molotov to slow them if that should happen. But now pressure is on his teammate of Axile, and Shiro wants to get back to the angle. They left him so much responsibility. Axile's going to find one. He's looking for more. That's not going to be available. Shiro's gone forward. That's too bold, and he will get checked. So perhaps a little bit of over-aggression coming in from Gambit. At this point, they've lost the site, and it looks like they might be thinking about setting up for the retake. What are they going to do? No, they are going to go for it. Long rotation to get over for 2 of these players as they come all the way back through spawn. Nafani just has an MP9. Hobbit as well setting out to see if there's going to be some aggression. And a molly will chase him back. So this is likely going to be a save. Purely when you're thinking about time considerations. And unfortunately for them, it's 2 of the weaker guns that they're saving. 2 of the SMGs. So that one doesn't play out according to Gambit's game plan. Instead, it's G2 to take it through. They'll find an AWP as well. And that looks very nice for a first gun round. So G2 on the board. And in an early fashion, that bodes well for the chances here on Dust 2. It's what we like to see. It is their map pick. Should be substantially more comfortable. Glass Cannon AWP for Shiro here. They're going to try and make it work with what they had based on the save. Kenny trying to tag one crossing over. That's not going to happen just yet, but it might just to have allowed the fast play in towards tunnels. A Molly comes out to avoid that potential. And so B should be okay for now. You'll see the player reroute in towards mid instead. That's Hunter. If Kenny had gotten one on the cross, or even if something had looked better for them, the utility hadn't come in, we might have seen the fast play out of tons and the damage being done in that direction. Said we got Shiro playing over by Carr. He's probably going to be waiting to receive these players. He's actually tucked in closer to the ramp corner, at least for the moment. He's going to be the primary point of contact as they move their way on towards Catwalk. Space taken. Hobbit, the insurance policy here and towards mid, might also be a flank, but he'd have to go through the doors, and he has no information about what lies on the other side. Was smoked off for a moment. Shiro eats that flashbang. He needs to connect shots now. He can't quite find them. There's the one. He's looking for more. They're overwhelming him, though, and Glass Cannon, he will go down quickly indeed. Now his life is lost. That bomb is planted. The op only good for one, and another player follows him into the grave. This is not looking good at all. This time, though, they seem like they want to commit into the fight. NES looking for Axile, and it should be Amanek to keep him from even getting close. The fast cat angle might be something, but it looks like, once again, they're going to have to fall back and content themselves with just keeping something in terms of weaponry alive. Inter's the only one with an actual rifle, so Nafani's going to stick a little bit closer to see if he can't do damage. And I don't think anyone's going to give him an opportunity to get a gun by coming back in towards spawn. Amanek with a nice round there. 2 kills. Clean kills as well. All himself. And a timeout comes in for Gambit. So they have to decide what they want to do here, how much they want to invest around, if they want to invest anything around. I don't think it would generally be too well advised. And how they want to compensate to deal with G2. Hasn't been anything too wild from G2 just yet. The catwalk presence has been effective, or at least was certainly effective last round. They're giving Shiro a lot of responsibility, which makes sense. Shiro is very good, but it would also be nice to give him a little bit of help so that your opera can focus more on one read. Right now, it feels like he's having to float between helping his teammate out towards long and Axile, and then bailing back to play that catwalk play, and might just be too much of an ask. Maybe a player tucked in towards Goose. Something doing in that regard could help him out. As it is, they don't have much this round, so they're going to go for the stack, and the stack might get red here. Multiple players out towards long. There are 2 players, and the bomb is close at hand. This could get dangerous. The flashbang's good. Gonna need to just hold mouse 1, and at that point, they'd only left Nafani behind. Everybody else had left. 4-man play. A ramp has been lost, or long, sorry. They've given up ramp as well to come in and try and threaten towards catwalk, but the only player here is Nico. Playing in the tunnels, and Amanek holding the lurk. They are working their way back around, having gained the ground. Left Kenny out by the plat. But Kenny's making his way forward, and this could be a bit risky. He's going to spot one, not connect the tag, and he's able to get around the corner without being punished at all. Go where he thought it was going to. And he will catch a USP bullet to the face, so that's now an op that can be found. There's no one else to watch that. They're going to get the AWP. That's at least a consolation prize coming out of this round. An op and a FAMAS, not bad by any measure. This round will certainly be going the way of G2, so they will take a lead here on Dust 2. But a fair amount of weaponry taken through to the next by Gambit, including the AWP, the most important part of this kit. We appreciate you all sticking with us through these slight technical difficulties. Hopefully, again, we'll be getting my co-caster back online in just a few moments. The challenges of remote production are immense sometimes, folks. So we'll get that resolved shortly. Fingers crossed. Knock on some wood. See what we've got presence-wise here. A little bit of controlling towards tunnel. It's a pretty default approach. The only difference is that Hobbit's getting aggressive on Catwalk, which we did see a bit in the pistol round, but not ever since. Considering the fact that G2 have fallen in towards at least some degree of a tunnel lurk late, it's not a bad position to try and hold, see if you can punish. Could see at some point the boost up over the smoke on Catwalk, maybe coming through, or over the Xbox smoke, rather, to try and catch that presence. Instead, we're going to have pressure on in towards B, and it's going to work out beautifully. Nice opening pick, nice follow-up as well. Nafani takes one for the doors, and this nade might be damaging, but it's not going to be a kill. And that's what he needed to give them a chance back into this. This should be a save at this point. Axile knows he has to deal with Nico in mid. Shiro will hold. That should be G2 taking the round. That's a nice kill, though. Fine for Axile. An upgrade to an AK, but still 2v3. You don't fancy the chances at the retake, especially now with an AWP on the line. They're going to give it up. So G2 slowly but steadily building onto this lead. This round should be just about over. Indeed it is, as the bomb will go off, but no further casualties are likely to come through. Maybe if Hunter peeks through the long doors. Oh, he's going to. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. And he's going to be dropped by Shiro. Shouldn't make much of a difference, though, to G2. They've got plenty of cash to work with. Plenty of bankroll here. 12K on Almanac. We'll get invested back in. They are cash flow rich. And this is a nice way to wash the taste of Vertigo out of your mouth. Another timeout already coming in from Gambit. Interesting to me that these timeouts are getting burned so early. It doesn't feel like they've been doing anything catastrophically wrong here. They're just trying to find the solution towards G2 setups. Or I guess just taking these pauses to figure out their buy. Creative accounting here. Lots of utility will now be available. The AWP will be available as well. We'll see which direction they go with it. Through the smoke they go, and in towards B. There's a tag, not quite connecting. Kenny S looked like he might be on. Spotted the player hopping up over the smoke, but couldn't connect the shot. So Gambit maybe get away with that one. But again, we're seeing G2 do what they do. Difference here is they're much more passive towards long. They're not fighting for long control. Instead, they're holding top mid, anticipating off the back of that pause something coming through from Gambit. They're very ready for any sort of aggression. Unfortunately for them, Gambit's not really giving it. Plenty of cash money, so they didn't need it. So I'm curious about what the plan was for him. Maybe, again, anticipating that fast play. Going for the ump. This is setting up for an A take. We've got players in towards the long house. They're going to be molly. That'll slow this down at least for a moment. And 40 seconds on the clock. Time is starting to become precious. Utility as well. There are still smokes available, but they've just been smoked off again. They're being pushed. 30 seconds on the clock. What's going to be the play here? Everyone making the move over from Catwalk? Perhaps with deep long control, though. These players can feel very comfortable. And here's the adjustment that's come in from Gambit. They have put the player towards towards Goose, sorry. Shiro tucked into the corner. Flashbang out to set up Hobbit, but he's going to be deleted before it blooms. Nicely done. Shiro now knows he has to do something, and he cannot connect. Shiro, a rare moment where he's just failing to find home on a target. And that is going to be another round for G2. Don't imagine that Gambit want to try and battle back in without any site control, without proper utility. Yeah, they're going to give this up. They're going to save what they've got, live to fight another day. And that is absolutely the correct call here. But it's starting to get very concerning, the amount that G2 is able to push them straight off of a site. Nafani's now lost his life towards lower. And they're chasing these guns. Sorry that it's going to probably be a much quieter cast while I'm alone here. It's just kind of the realities of solo casting. Can only talk so many rounds in a row at a constant clip before my lungs just give out. We do see the odds coming in here starting to creep back in G2's favor as they're showing a strong form on Dust 2 early here. It is early days, but I will say Gambit being so quickly pushed off of sites is distinctly concerning for them. Good tag damage early on, spamming through the smoke. Hobbit takes the brunt of it. Being chopped off at the ankles. Axile as well, a little dusted up. Now presence shown back in towards mid as G2 look to pressure. Hunter's still on the ump. Still just fine with it. Presence being shown towards B's, maybe drawing a bit of pressure back. That nade was good. Hunter. Lower and lower he goes. Down to 25 points of health. It landed right in his lap. But again, this A setup is predicated on Shiro being able to hit a lot of very good shots. He was phenomenal on Vertigo. Haven't seen it yet on Dust 2. He's been fine, but we don't expect fine from Shiro. We expect greatness. Hobbit close up by the door. Speaking of greatness. Going B to B. That's the first one dropped. X-Ray goes down to show how little he can see. Is unfortunately unable to connect. A blinded up Nico will still be able to clear him. There's the trade. Inters had to get that kill, otherwise he was done and dusted. Axile goes forward to try and get one more. It is down to a 2v2. And Shiro repositioning, knowing they're coming over Catwalk, might just want to play for the retake. They're wrapping on towards site, but no, he wants to get ramp. He wants to deny this bomb plant, knowing the time is of the essence. There's a peek, there's a shot. Huge one from Shiro. He's looking for the last, going for the jump to do it. Nico now in a 1v2, looking for the clutch and the bomb to play off of. Finds himself just a little bit of positioning. They're working up towards ramp together. Got to be careful not to quite line up. There's the tag. He's now low, and the finishing blow as well. Inters has it. Gambit are back on the board. An upgrade available for Inters to boot. Gambit do find the third round. They did take Shiro stepping up in a big way. A little bit of timely aggression as well. The kill that was traded on B site was so critical. Without it, they're really up the creek because G2 have so many more options about where they want to go. Tactical timeout called by G2 this time. Okay, well, this is interesting. Obviously, you have a big buffer of rounds to work with and plenty of money still in the bank account, but they also recognize that if they can answer right back here on towards Gambit, they can crush the life out of them immediately. And that's what they seek to do. That is what they aim to do here. Get round number 6 and really make it all but impossible for Gambit to get into this first half. What's the antidote to do so? Almanac has 15k. Before buying into this round, 10k left over, so cash is not a concern. Almost wonder whether they were talking about breaking out the auto or something to really catch them off guard. It's not going to be the case. Looks like maybe a faster play towards B was the answer. Inters catches a lot of nade damage as a result, but then they fall off of it. That's a util shown. Oh, that nade lands right in the lap of Nico. That's nicely done. They're looking for some more. There's a trade. Nafani's found a lot of spacing. But that means they're going to respond by going out towards long. This is the response. They get the kill out long. Axile goes down, and suddenly they've taken the space. Shiro will get boosted back up on towards site, so they have to contend with that AWP. But he can't come back into the angle. He doesn't know how deep they are in. And indeed, Kenny is watching. Kenny is watching for him. He wants this duel. He wants this fight. He knows if he takes down Shiro, this site is ripe for the taking. Gonna be smokes for the cross, but G2's not moving yet. They're baiting out the utility rally. They know they have another set of smokes. So this baits out a lot of the remaining CT utility. Shiro, meanwhile, adjusts over towards Catwalk. That's an interesting read on the situation. Hobbit's going to play close up around the smoke. Should cover him off from Kenny. Kenny will now set up a flashbang for his teammates. Hobbit dodges it. He gets one. He gets two. He's looking for more. He might just have it. Indeed he does. That should shut down the round. Kenny even tagged up, but there's no way he can win this. He's trying desperately, but he'll have to dive bomb right back into pit. Nafani will be collected, but the flank is on. There's no reason for Hobbit to give him a fight. He just wants to keep his attention focused so that Inters can get here and they can grab him after the clock. Kenny now trying to withdraw, checking that flank to see if he's coming up. Inters is here. Who's going to win this duel? Does he expect the player close up? He does. He actually goes looking, but he still gets tagged. And that is Gambit bringing us within one. Keeping 3 alive as well, so now the economy is reinforced. The chance for the killing blow is there, and G2 could not take it. Big round for Hobbit. We see the replay here around Brain Sacks. He's going to give them a whole meal. A little bit of a duel in towards lower. Nico's waiting for this. Let's see what Nico can do. He's going to be able to get the kill. That's Nafani drop. That's the lurk out already. That's a lot of information denied for Gambit. This has been really good for G2. The tunnels hold in general. Nafani got it. Was it last round or the round before that? Helped change their fortunes, but for the most part, G2 have been coming out on top of engagements really in that general sector of the map. Gonna be working their way up long again. This time, Shiro's not really in position. He's back towards spawn. And he knows he wants to reroute. And he's actually being dragged around, pulling off of it. As I say that, they're not committing. They're going back to check the long aggression. They didn't have anyone holding mid, so for all they know, there's a player up Catwalk, and they're a little bit nervous about that, it seems. That's what wound up catching Kenny the round before. So they're showing a degree of patience here. 35 seconds. Just trying to get some information here for Gambit, but it's all been denied. Those smokes doing an effective job of providing cover. And now the hit's going to come on. But with this smoke in towards spawn, there's not much Shiro could do. They go ahead of it. Shiro gets one. He gets two as well before the smoke blooms. That drops the bomb into an angle that Axile can watch. He gets one. It's going to be planted, but it's a 3-on-2 retake. 10 seconds. Unfortunately for Gambit, there's no one to deny this plant. They just needed one more player up on the platform. But that's not going to happen. G2, a chance to hold on to this, but it's going to be tough. Kenny behind the car. Amanek playing from ramp. And they're going to run boost to clear it. Ooh, if they can succeed. Eventually, Kenny S is going to strike. The run boost fails, but he's lost his teammate. It's all on Kenny. And there comes the swing. They've dropped Shiro down. Shiro's coming for the hit, but Kenny is strong and good for it. A 4K for Kenny S as he fights off the young gun and secures round 6 for G2. What a round for him. We talked about it. He started to come alive at the end there on Vertigo. Once he got the op in his hands here on Dust 2, he is shining. It's a big round. It's actually what puts him up and into positive. Honestly, thought he was doing better than that, but he has looked good. He's definitely passed the eye test. For sure. And that is good. He's a key element of making this team work. It's actually crazy when you look at the kill totals that G2's in the lead here. But they've taken rounds in such a way that Gambit have been forced into saving early on, and that's why you see them limited in the kill counter. So that's perhaps the best result. If you just win it right off the bat, they never get a chance to fight. Yeah, you might not get the kills, but hey, you get the rounds. And that's all that matters. This round is going to be some limited buys. Nafani and Axile down towards the Deagles. There's an op out for Shiro, but we'll see what they can do. Shiro trying to get aggressive towards Catwalk. It does seem like long is just being taken again and again and again for G2. And the reality is, even if Gambit wanted to do a proper fight here, throw 3-4 players at it and just try and win the long fight, they need utility behind it. They haven't had the utility to go for it. So if they get a healthy round, if they actually get a healthy buy and they can get full nades, full mollies, full smokes, full flashes, maybe they can go back for this. Just chuck HEs down. Try and do as much damage as he can to try and get out the long house. Here's the play. Axile gets one with the deagle. Actually, Shiro collected that. Shiro collects the second as well, but this is all to set up Hobbit. Shiro can't peek again, but Hobbit again from the grain sacks. Oh, he's going to find one. That's the bomb dropped as well and confirmed. Nexus approaching forward, but this round has gotten a little bit out of hand early. Confirms that Nexa is in fact close up. Kenny S coming behind him. That's a huge kill to find for Nexa. Both players are still here. Kenny will go to the rifle to help his teammate with a little bit more mobility. There's a player by Gandalf. There's a player close up by the boxes. Nafani just with the deagle, but there's the flank from Inters. That's what they were waiting for. And pinched between two angles. They will go down. They will falter. They will drop to the floor, and Gambit drop back within one. What's the money looking like for G2? Despite that massive cash buildup they had, it has evaporated. It's gone. Like so much dust in the wind. Nico, in particular, is broke. Kenny has money. Kenny has money. So if they wanted to go for the Force, they could even break out the AWP, get cheeky with it. Might just see him drop some deagles around. Share in the wealth. They're going to have a timeout here to discuss it. This first half it's, for Dust 2, been so slow. It's unusual to see for a map like this that can be so momentum-based. We've had 2 pauses apiece from both sides. We've had a very methodical style for G2 where they take long and they allow a lot of time and then they take in towards sight. It doesn't feel like a Dust 2 game. We are going to have the buy here. Everyone's going in as well. 1 rifle, 1 op, couple MAC-10s, and a deep. Wow, that op gets destroyed immediately. Kenny wanted to go hunting when you got that hero op. Sometimes you got to get it going early. And Shiro's going to come out on top of that particular engagement this time around. So now they are knocked back early. They're going to have to reroute, try and maybe claim that op, but they have to be careful. They don't know that Shiro's playing a little bit of an off angle on it. He could be watching. He's just playing with a crack in the door. That op should be retrievable, but it's going to cost them a smoke to recover it. An Xbox smoke up. And Hobbit's on Catwalk, so he knows that this isn't actually a cat hit just yet. But if they do come through, he's going to do a lot of damage. Oh, they're looking for it. They line up for him. Hobbit backing off. That nade should connect. That nade should be good. He is off the angle. He's looking for more. Going to set up Shiro as they come in towards site. So they're denied the ability to trade Hobbit. Damage done, but with an SMG, he doesn't really care. He's here to set up his teammates, and that's exactly what he'll do. Looks like they're going to fall back in towards a cat hit, but with Shiro's position, this should be good for him. A player tucked up on site. Shiro potentially is the distraction. They're a bit wary about mid, but Inters can confirm that the mid split's not coming through, so Shiro can now focus his attention on cat. Lurk smoke is there. The flash is there. They've dropped the player in towards CT. That could be effective, and now they're falling off of it. Actually, knowing that CT's clear, they want to come back in towards the B hit. There are still 2 players tucked up, but it's going to be onto Inters and Nafani. They haven't been tested in a while. Shiro goes down elsewhere. Inters holds up to the first. They're running out of time. 15 seconds. Aminet clears that out in towards mid, but they can't bring the bomb back over. They have to make this work, and they're out of time. They cannot do this. 8 seconds. 7 seconds. 6 seconds. Need to get that bomb down to dirt in this round. Well, it's almost been won. He just has to live. He just has to live, and indeed he has. Gambit pull up the 6. The clutch here. And Aminek at least resists going down after timer, but that is a tied scoreline. Oh, we have a Dean back. Magic. I love to hear it. So now we got a co-caster, Dean. How about you take this round? I'm gonna take a breath of air.
Still lurking around the top mid. I mean, if he gets caught, then maybe things could get a little bit dangerous if Nico was to somehow get this kill. But there's just no way he expects it, and he doesn't have the weaponry to react to it either. So there we go. Looking pretty straightforward so far. Kenny also digged down in the meantime as he was trying to work an off pick. And it is going to be 7-6 in favor of Gambit. How's it been looking so far, Mike? I actually missed just a little bit of it because I was trying to get things fixed up as well, obviously.
I can appreciate that. Thank you for putting me around to catch my breath. It was looking very good for G2, but these last few rounds, they've been falling apart. And as you can see here, I mean, another one goes down with 4 players staying alive for Gambit, so the money's starting to build. The double ops even found. Hobbit picks up the secondary. And that's very concerning for G2, especially considering the hot start. I was talking about it while you were, you know, off gallivanting around, unable to get into the call. I was talking about it and saying that G2 really couldn't afford a slow start here, considering how long they took it to get into the server on Vertigo. And, well, they had the hot start. They went up 6-3 at one point, and then it's just fallen apart. We've had a lot of pauses. We've had a fairly slow half of Dust 2, all things considered. But now they're starting to lose out the engagements. It feels like Gambit's adjusted to the presence they want to show towards long, and now that there's utility available, that's going to be a difference maker. And Fani with a double op, with a secondary op, rather. He's going to dance back towards site. It does seem like they're going back maybe in towards the B split. Presence towards Catwalk, and Fani looking for a pixel across that. Hobbit's going to be ahead of the flashbang, but no, it actually does catch him. He thought he was past it. Instead, Shiro now has massive pressure on as they'll try and chase down that kill. Big pick to find toward Hobbit.
Oh, and, well, another frag actually going the way now of G2. They're able to catch Nafany as the split is coming in, and, well, Inters is screwed on B, but it's not even getting to that point before the round is basically already done because he had lost everyone who attempted to rotate over. As it goes into 5-on-1, where Axel, I was going to say, could consider saving him towards this last round, but it looks like he wants to move in on mid. Given a little bit of a go, he's about to be caught on the left side as Nexa pops out, and yeah, we're tied back up at 7-7 now. Only the one casualty as well for G2. Not a big deal going into the last round when the op was also salvaged. It'll be given straight back over. And now it's Gambit who are struggling with the buy into this final round of the half. They have an op, so there's always that. But no rifles. Yeah. It's an MP9 and then just Deegs. A few nades at least, so we might see them using those for a bit of aggression early on perhaps. But yeah, it will really be down to Shiro to try and give them something here in the early moments.
Fortunately for them, it's Shiro. He's more than capable of pulling some sort of a hero play off, and it seems like he's going to get aggressive. I was talking about this a long time ago. Many rounds back that I thought they might go for the boosted peak in towards Dark Tunnel. There's going to be the hit. Hobbit actually gets the kill. I was going to say Hobbit's the one who makes it out of that engagement, but no, Nico will chase him down. So 2-for-1 exchange. One of them's the op, so that is A-okay. Nafani knows there's a player right here. He knows there's a player right here. Did Nico spot him? It feels like Nico's holding for this. Nafani's like, come on, just come around the corner. Come around the corner. You know you want to. Kenny's looking for it instead. Oh, it just misses them. Ships in the night. The X-ray's on, but you can't tell how close that was. Axel, meanwhile, gets a kill outside of the tunnels. He'll get a rifle for himself, but Inter's caught in rotation makes this tough. There'll be at least guns for them to attempt this retake in the last round, but it is a 2v3. And the bomb's now going down. An auto for Nafani. Could be interesting. No, he splits the difference. Finds 2 targets, splits right between them. That could have been huge. Would have given them so much more of a chance if they'd been able to find one before they even started the retake. Love the attempt. Nexa now close up by the smoke. And Nafani's doing a good job of distracting long enough for them to get forward, but Axile cannot connect the shot. And Nexa takes 2 to close out the half. 8-7. We will take a break here and be right back.
just the way we live. The way we live.
And we're back here with the second half and into the pistol, apparently.
Okay, I thought I died or something. I was wondering what was going on.
We're halfway through the pistol. It seems like 2 players have dropped down. We've got the kills coming through, and on we go. Kenny going to get one, but he is traded. There's Nex in a 1v2 now. Bomb not down yet, so he's got something to play for to try and deny it, and he will connect to one, but Shiro is there to polish it off. Gambit type the scoreline 8-8 as we head into round number 2 and half number 2 as well here, team.
Yeah, apologies. I don't have the producer at the moment because I'm on a little bit of a cobble together, or the last minute hobble together setup, of course. So I wasn't sure if we were live there, and if we were, I didn't want to cut you off. So I was kind of going along and seeing like, are we live? But yeah, quick pistol round comes in. We're tied up at 8-8, and well, now it's G2 who are in a bit of trouble, not quite having what they need, what only pistols, and actually a decent amount of nades at least behind it. That is one positive. We're gonna have long control early coming in from Hobbit. Cross towards Blue. He's getting mollied. Doesn't do too much damage, but now he's got to smoke it off and, well, hopefully escape from here, because sticking around doesn't look like it's going to go too well for him as they stack it up with 4 players and, well, begin to encroach on his position. Tucked in here, already naded to 50. Those pistols are going to be very dangerous, and oh, he makes it away. There we go. There was like a rescue attempt there with the nades being used over to try and allow for Hobbit to escape. And now they're going to go up short, I guess, realizing that so many players were pushed up on long. Maybe not quite realizing the extent of the stack towards this A bomb site. And obviously Hunter, they're just hitting a fantastic shot as they initially try and come out as short. And that seems to have slowed them down. They're deciding against maybe fully committing, or where for a second, never mind, they realize at this point now they do need to go forward, unaware of who could be holding, or who could be flanking and such. Nice kill by Axile. Should give room for a potential bomb plant, but no, hang on. They need to deal with these ramp players first. They are doing it, but it is taking some time. But as I say that, all the frags have been pretty much Amanek lurking over, and yeah, they had left Hobbit at top mid the entire time. It was looking like there could have been maybe a bit more found there from G2. Unfortunate that they don't manage to, but it's the force buy. It doesn't work. Now they take an eco, and really it's that first gun round that they're going to have to be thinking about.
Does it feel wild the number of times we see a team diagnose a stack and go, we can kill him. We got better guns.
Ooh, lads, there's a lot of kills waiting for us on A. That's how it goes. Ooh, we're seeing the stack again. A little bit more passive with it. They're waiting to peek, and yeah, bait it in this time. Don't show yourself initially. It's like when you stack up in the pit on Inferno. I love it. I haven't seen it quite done that way, but it does come out with a kill for G2. The only issue is the weapon's quite far away. It's all the way down long, so they're not going to be getting it for themselves. And obviously, as soon as that 5-man A stack is called in, the commitment just goes towards B. And the nades are going to be able to actually hold those rotations at bay here for Inters while he waits on his teammates to make their way over. Although, next it could have been an issue, but no, Shiro's got it. Axel moving in, he has a teammate alongside him as well, so that bomb should easily reach B.
Should do. Should do. Don't think there's anything to really speak of in this round. Bomb's going to go down. G2 might just set up for some exits. Got a player on Cat, got a player right outside the doors, got 2 players wrapping back in towards spawn. Does seem to be their plan. Nico's just had his head popped like an overripe grape. Sure with the scout, man. Just about as terrifying as Sure with the op. Here we go. Hunter actually does connect that shot. That was a nice dink flick over for Hobbit. Seemed like Hobbit took a second to realize, hey, there's a player right there. Camouflage working out effectively. And we are going to see this round go through. There is a Galil found for Kenny, so that's nice. The player that they dropped out towards long gifts over a rifle, but 4 players surviving here for Gambit is A-okay. As they move on to double digits, they find the 10th. Now we're going to have the investment coming back in from G2. Curious who gets stuck on the Galil, because presumably we're going to see Kenny breaking out that big, fat AWP right off the bat. Yeah, bring it in. Make it happen. Been showing flashes with the AWP. And it has been a difference maker for them here, Dean. And they need it. They need that kind of difference maker. You can't let rounds go without putting an AWP in the hands of Kenny.
Yeah, I mean, not having a terrible game so far at 10-11, but obviously you do need him to deliver a bit more here on the CT side of Dust 2. It's a map where those ops can certainly shine. So, yeah, it's what G2 need. Shiro, obviously, on the opposing side, he's having a fantastic performance so far. Up there alongside Axile and Hobbit. They're the 3 names you need. This is just a clinical performance right now from Gambit in terms of having the players that need to show up. Ooh, Got a nade on Hobbit. It didn't even do that much damage. Only brought him down to 84, I believe. I hadn't actually heard it being thrown in, but yeah, initially anyway, it is just this pretty standard default from Gambit. They know obviously this is the first gun round of G2, so they're trying to put some pressure on. They're running down a lot of the nades already at this point, and eventually they are, as you can see, going to start moving in for some control. Flash over on short. They spotted Kenny. Does he want to stick around? He will drop the smoke, and yeah, decides to drop back down. I don't think he intended the smoke to go as it did, and that's probably why he ended up backing off. Might have stuck around otherwise. But yeah, I mean, a minute remaining, or just under that rather, and Gambit, they've got some pretty solid control right now. Dropping to the spawn. Nico didn't spot that. He was completely blind.
Yeah, he's no idea here. But they're going to split in towards B. So it doesn't make that much of a difference unless they're coming in on the retake. Inters deletes Almanac. Both were blinded, I believe. But it's going to be Hunter on site. He gets two. He's looking for the third. Runs out of bullets, or he would have had it. Oh, Hunter. What a good impact. Now Nico coming back for the clear out. Don't know if he realizes Shiro's so close at hand, but Shiro's being tagged from top mid. It's all falling apart. That was looking like such a good setup for Gambit. But because Hunter on site held strong with an A1S, took two, nearly the third, that ruined all of their plans. What a round for Hunter. The scoreline will probably only show that he got 2 kills here, but he just won them that almost single-handedly. He was in a tough spot, a crappy situation, and back against the wall, he comes up huge for the team. Whew.
This is what they need. They need everyone stepping up, and well, that is a good time for Hunter to come up huge for his team. Again, over on the G2 side, there's no one really trailing behind even in the frags. You just don't have anyone who's standing out to the same extent that you have Shiro, Hobbit, and Axel all performing over on the side of Gambit. Obviously, that round does go well for them, but they haven't completely broken Gambit off the back of just winning the one, unfortunately. I think that's a Galil on Anthony, right? My feed's a little extra blurry now because I've got a feed of a feed. So it's an interesting setup. And yeah, that is that one Galil, but that's it. Get the extra nades. Overall, it's a solid buy here. They aren't really lacking anything. They've got the op again on Shiro, and well, the double op on the side of G2. That's the switch up that we're seeing here in the hands of Amanek, a secondary one. On a map like D2, it makes complete sense. They are playing an interesting setup over an A right now. Is that 2 players on the car, and then one on the ramp itself?
I think they were maybe anticipating a little bit of aggressive long play, and now they want to fight back in towards that long control, which they have been given. They've devoted a lot of utility over to it, but it is useful to have this map control and now be able to work a player in towards the pit. That's Nexa who will do so, and they might actually maneuver Kenny to be here. A B split could be effective. 2 players on site, provided Hunter doesn't go Super Saiyan again. That means that they are vulnerable. I say that's a big provided, though. Hunter, if anything, is even stronger this round because he's got an AK, and they're going to go through the smoke. That's going to be Nico through the smoke. He does get caught, but Amanek finds one. They need more. Hunter this time has been silenced. Amanek, what can he do with the op? He's going to try and connect these shots. Can't quite land them as the player's hopping over, and Shiro will eventually find him, and that should do it. That should do it. This should be the save. Gambit maintain their lead. Keep 4 alive as well. The question becomes, can Nexa and Kenny save these guns? The op, obviously the most valuable. No one's quite in position to hunt with the money being as tender as it is for Gambit. I don't imagine they want to commit too many bodies to it. So this should be a situation where all remaining 6 players do get away. If I were Gambit, I would not fancy the hunt here. You know, go join Shiro out towards spawn. Let him guard you with the strong arms of his AWP and live through. 11th round coming through here for Gambit. G2. They're doing a good job of this, but they need a little bit more. They're keeping it close. Close is not enough here. And especially on the CT side, when you have these rounds that are keeping it close. Yes, saving these 2 guns means that your economy is going to be okay going forward, but it's still going to be brittle. You lose 1, suddenly you're staring down a couple of rounds for Gambit, and that's just not something that your setup can take right now.
No, not at all. And it doesn't... Okay, I was going to say it doesn't look like they're going in with quite the full buy. It looks like they're actually keeping a little bit onto each of the players maybe for the future. But yeah, it makes sense. May as well put all of the money through here. As you said, it is just a little bit brittle, potentially, if they are to lose this round. But G2, if they can fire straight back, if they can get right back on their feet again here, then it's actually Gambit who really don't have that fantastic of an economy, at least onto 2 of their players. Again, a slower round from Gambit. Just approach out lower, move up towards that short control, and, well, eventually look to work off of this. I was going to say we could see them look back towards long maybe a little bit later. pressure on towards middle as well. It looked like we were maybe even going to see some aggression there from G2 actually initially looking to push maybe through the doors, but deciding against it for now. And well, all of Gambit are grouping up on short. I don't think they're going to be waiting at all with this. No, smoke down into the spawn, execute coming forward as the mollies go through as well. But Nico, a nice preemptive peek comes in as he spots Nafany, takes him down, and instantly Gambit decide they want to bring this back over towards a B split. They are very quickly pushed up and close to those windows, and Hunter, he's not able to handle anything at all apparently. Amanek now caught around the smoke, needs to come out with at least one kill, and he cannot make it happen. But he's got some assistance at least from Kenny S as it comes down now to a 2-on-2. As the bomb, well, it's going to be planted. There's no fighting for that anyway. Kenny and Nex are back in the spawn.
This is such a tough retake. Couple of HEs, so they could lob them over towards a position of prey. Oh, there's a tag. They know where a player is now. That might inform the HEs if they get dropped, but they can't really get an angle with that molly down and towards the window. And that really softens up Nexa, of course, for Inters' play here. There's the HE. Doesn't really find anything. That one connects, at the very least, but they're running out of time. They're running out of clock to do this with. The low HP player will bait for Kenny to come through, but Kenny cannot get it done. That's a 12 here for Gambit. They're going to be able to withdraw as well, keep the op going. And G2, we said that round was a dangerous one to lose. They've got a bit of money here, but it's not looking good. Can maybe go for a half. Could go for a force. I wouldn't love it. They're going to go for a timeout to discuss how they want to approach this because they're running out of opportunities. And being down a map already, reminder, folks, just to give you some context, if you're just joining us now, the team that wins here is in the playoffs of the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. The team that lose here, they're done. No more opportunities. You're out. It's the lower bracket match. It's the lower bracket final. Do or die to make it out of Group A. There are no more chances for G2. Just 2 is all they've got, Dean. And with that in mind, they're not going to invest in this one. They'll go for the half. They'll get some armor, some deagles, some stuff to work with. Maybe a scout if they wanted it. That's an option. Amanek has some extra cash to play with. But there's no reason to bet the farm right now. Speaking of bet the farm, GG bet odds up. We can tell they are starting to slant more and more in Gambit's favor. The Gambit train, it's leaving the station, folks. And it's headed for Katowice playoffs. Can G2 slow it down?
Well, not for this round, I wouldn't imagine anyway. Yeah, no, it's tough. Losing G2 it's a hit, honestly. We already lost Vitality today. Two big teams that I'm sure most people would have expected to be going fairly far. And, well, we've already seen one gone, and G2, unless they step it up now in this next gun round, could be joining them. As, again, the CIS teams are looking incredibly impressive. Good opening kill in this round as well does go the way of Gambit. Maxile's fairly low on health now, but he does have the op to work with, so they've got the law of Bogdan at least in effect. He'll be sitting back probably a little bit more passive with that. Allow his teammates to work the openings. They know they're not up against that strong of an investment. Again, the short control. I'm surprised they didn't work a bit more towards long in this round.
Who would have thought that Bogdan, of all people, would have such a lasting impact as a terminology in the CS?
The meme. It was really Steel that made it, though. Oh, Nico.
True.
Nice shot on towards Nafany. Nice. Even escapes. It was the flashover from Kenny that helped him out.
Starting to get a little concerning if you're Gambit, especially with a low HP player. We've seen them fail to identify a stack before, but this time they've been showing a predilection towards the split B, and if they go for it, well, it's just Amanek. It's just Amanek. There's players who want to go through mid. I think they've realized it now. They're like, all right, there wasn't a response. There wasn't a player close up by mid. That means they're probably not here. Amanek on the site. If he goes down without anything, just not much doing here, and that's exactly what happens. They're going to come through because why not risk it for the biscuit? You don't have much to save. You might as well try and make something happen here. And they have found a couple rifles to work with, as well as a smoke to give them some space out on towards the site. But wrapping around from the windows, dancing both directions. Hobbit gets caught between, and he'll be dropped from the panes. But Inter is looking for the clutch here. Now on the other side of the box from Nico. He goes looking, and Nico connects. A shot to the dome. Looking for the bomb. He'll have plenty of time for the defuse. And G2, this round of all rounds, with deagles, with pistols, this is where they make it happen. And it's Nico who does it with a huge 4K.
That is absolutely gigantic. I mean, look how much it boosts up their own economy now. They get everything they could ever wish for in this round. They'll even have a little bit left over. To win a round like that is just the best way to get yourself back into things. And, well, to kind of kick off the half, because they've been pretty quiet since the half time. Let's see if they can keep that up, obviously. We're not actually seeing Gambit even going in for the buy. Something we mentioned on the previous map is that they are being much more restrained with that economy than we see in back, especially when they were Gambit youngsters, when we got to cover quite a bit of them. A scout, though, Shiro, he's insane with that weapon, so I can understand. Try and do some damage, connect a couple of shots even, and then suddenly the P250s and the Deagles become very dangerous. But on paper, this should be G2. We should have them going up to 11. That next gun round then could maybe tie them up and actually send them into the lead even. Ideally, though, they do want to take this round again cleanly. Even though they won that eco in the previous round, they did go heavily into all the nades and such in this one alongside their weaponry, of course, so that they could just ensure that they're not going to drop anything. They know how important every round is.
Certainly can't afford to be giving it up against the pistols here. You can't afford it. They're going to go for a run boost. Love this. We saw a fail run boost again. Even that, not a great run boost. Need to spend some time on that one. You didn't quite have the speed, I don't think, that you were hoping for, but the drop does go in towards spawn. That's what allows Hobbit to do, so he wasn't actually trying to just go rocketing across. Never mind, I'll eat my words here. Still, what are they going to do with this position now that they have it? With him in towards CT. Kenny's looking for it. They're going to try and play on towards the B site. A drop down from Nico. That flash is not effective. Now they got to be careful. You're airdropping guns to him? Don't know that I want that. Don't know that I want that at all. Hobbit, can he find more? He's looking for it. Kenny's low. They delete the player on site. This is going to be the B site lost. And Hobbit still controls mid, and it's just Kenny with 17 points of health. How has this gone to complete shit for G2? Oh my goodness, Dean. This could be it. Kenny's going to save. Gambit are on to 13. The money is in the toilet for G2, and it's looking like that toilet might just be flushed here. Oh, goodness. Kenny, can he hold on to the op? No, he cannot. Not even that take it in. Nothing doing for G2. No lifelines. And Gambit with a scout, with pistols, with barely anything. They pull off a round. They win round 13. And they might just be signing G2's permission slip to head on home from Katowice.
Yeah, no, you had a very fitting description, I think, of that round. I tried to find a replacement word for you up until you finished speaking, pretty much, and there was just nothing else that fit the situation, because this is dreadful right now for G2. Look at the force buy, well, it's half buy, sorry. It's similar-ish to what they were able to make work even in the round before, so you can never really count them out, but it hasn't started off on a good note, has it, Mike? Trying to push up short, Hunter gets shut down by the op that was holding from top mid, and, well, it's going to be a B creep, it looks like. Close in the smoke? No, I thought he might have been able to have actually caught Hobbit when he spotted the barrel, but they are a little bit too quick. It's a 5-on-3. B is lost for G2. There's nothing they can do about winning this round anymore. Maybe a couple exits, or it could even be worth saving over to Kevlar at this point, just to ensure they have everything that they need in this next round, because it is their last chance. It's going to be do or die.
It really is. It really is. And after that kind of a round, you're just so shell-shocked, right? You're just so shell-shocked. They need to shake that off. Any frustration, any concerns, it has to go away, because this is going to be it. They're fighting for tournament life. They're fighting for that playoff spot. And Gambit right now have them in a stranglehold and are choking those last gasps of breath away. Oh. Kind of like the setup towards Cat. Mulligan's going to chase in the back. Oh, they're actually going to go through it. What are they trying to do? Chase out a couple more kills. I mean, if they find an op, I guess it's good, but otherwise there's not really much doing here. Might as well invest the pistols, but the FAMAS was there as well. Now here we are. This round, likely do or die. The op will be available for Kenny. They will be able to get a buy up. Omnic will stick on the FAMAS. That's the limitation here. Two more rounds. All that's needed for Gambit. All that's needed. You know what the incredible part is? I don't think Nafani's gotten to kill this half.
Well,
He's just been setting up
right.
his
Surely
team.
not. Oh wait, no wait, never mind. 5 to 19.
He's been on
I didn't
5.
realize he was doing so bad. Okay, Hunter's
But he's doing
kind of in
fine.
trouble. No, never mind. It looked like Hobbit was getting ready to clear that position, but turns away a little bit too soon. And, well, there we go. Hunter gives G2 a very crucial frag in the opening moments right now. They may look to try and pull something back. No, never mind. Nafany even gets got there by Kenny. That time you can't really blame him for his death. It was unfortunate timing, but yeah, caught as he takes out the molly, trying to clear that close corner. And, well, with that, Gambit in the 3-on-5 decided it's time to just try and hit B. And when they have hit B, they've been getting fantastic entries. And right now, we can see it is only one man here to defend. It's Amanek on the FAMAS. Needs at least one kill, and he will indeed find it on the Axile. A big name to claim, but there's still Shiro and Inters. He's been a little bit quieter on this map, especially in comparison to what he showed us on Vertigo. But alongside Shiro, these two names could still pull off this clutch if G2 give them an inch to work with.
Problem is, it's the B bomb site. They're going to be coming through, but there's still utility here for these Ts. Okay, they dumped everything they had. This should be working. There's still the choke points. They've got to battle this out, and those are a couple big kills coming in. They've got to get through the doors. They're waiting for Shiro, but he's going to pop up at the right moment. Nico and Hunter. A sigh of relief from G2 fans around the globe as a defuse will come in. That was looking dire. A 4-on-2 is still not an appetizing prospect when you're retaking the B-bomb side of Dust 2. They make it work, but it looked touch and go for a moment there. More than a moment even. Hunter, 2 big kills to get them through that round. And now they get a chance. They get a chance with a bit more. The AWP is still there. You can see there's still limitations. Still issues with this purchase. They can keep it going for now. More pressure coming back in from Gambit. Never a chance for them to catch their breath. Nafani's already out to the blue box. I think Nico probably saw him. Nafani certainly saw Nico. They know there's friends on either side here. See if they can get a greeting. Decent nade damage, but this is distracting for long enough. Axile's just rocketing up mid. Nafani, he's the Trojan horse. They don't care if he dies. He just wants to get them in towards B. This is the play. Amanek, he's burning. He's been ticked. He's been dropped. The bomb's going down. It's a 4-on-3, and they still have to deal with Nafani in towards mid. This man has called a masterclass in these last few rounds. Who cares if he's getting kills? His team is working around him. And he is putting them to great effect. And his presence toward long was a huge part of why that hit works. G2 are going to save. Series point is going to fall to Gambit. A chance at the playoffs. They just have to win one of the next 4 for this young team to best G2 and book themselves a spot in the playoffs of IEM Katowice. And Nexa will not be bringing his kit into the next round. That is another gun out of their hands. Every piece of equipment so precious now to this G2 squad.
He may only have 6 kills, but the impact of that one there is huge. Ooh, this is so rough right now for G2. As you said, 4 chances for Gambit to put an end to this. To be precise as well, they would be heading on into the quarterfinals, because obviously in some of the other games, the ones from the upper bracket, there are situations where teams are winning and going straight into the semis. So I guess it's nice to just specify. But the pause in, this is understandable. It's the last one from G2 as well. It might have been their last chance to use it, so you may as well put it in. Boy, it's decent. And we've seen them make it work with less, obviously. We had them pull out that round with the pistols in Kevlar. To deliver something like that again now is exactly what they need. It's a struggle, though. Nico's having a decent game. Kenny's doing all right as well, but we just don't have anyone delivering to the level that they need. Again, we have the 3 names that we expect from Gambit all showing up, and you've got Inters having a pretty solid performance too. Even with Nafani not really contributing those frags, he's just got the players around him to make up for it as long as his calls are on point. And as you said, he has been delivering in that regard. 4 chances, and well, we're kicking off the first of them here. Can Gambit put an end to it now, or are G2 on track for an overtime perhaps? Even if they get that, and map number 3 would be needed, obviously. Oh, we're seeing the boost above the mid-smoke. The NOA stack up close. I don't think Shiro's going to get much of a chance. It's more so to catch the players walking up short. And oh, they've just abandoned it. Would that have been heard by Nafani? I don't have sound, so you might have to let me know, Mike. Yeah.
Should have been. It's rather quiet for me as well, but that should give some sort of an audio cue over. Either way, there's going to be Inters with an opener. Kenny was trying to get aggressive. Kenny gets punished. Amanek's going to be able to keep the AWP alive, but that's a position loss, and they're going to have to give it up. And meanwhile, Catwalk's being taken, and that is a major vulnerability. It's just Nico here. He's the only one who can do anything about this, and they're trying to rip his head from his shoulders. He'll take the first, but not the trade. That's the site now lost. A player out towards long, but even a flank out the long house. Is Axile's just going to hold for this? Nex is going to push all the way through. Does he get this kill? Certainly not. Even a little bit of patience there from Axile, just absolutely sure he was the only one. And now the waning moments, it all comes down to Amanek with a found AWP. Kenny's gun, Amanek's hands, it has to happen. A Molotov in his way, flames at his feet, his position known, and shots to the back. And that is Gambit Esports making their way to the playoffs of Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. They've booked their spot. They've 2-0 G2.